Pre-stream audio test. Hello, chat. Like we do every time. Little extra treat for those of you who show up a little early. Little personal hangout time before we actually go live for realsies. Hello, hello, hello. Sound good? Thank you, Midnight Griff. Hello, Lord Amethyst. It's a cool name. Gamer Cabot, Star Chaser, Baby League, Aquatic Demon, Babylon Ranger, Cassius, Azudemi. So many friends. Audio's good. How's your day going? Nice. Hello, Prankster Ole. Whew! Anxiety! But, like, you know how anxiety can be an indication of, like, good feelings as well? Like, it's equal parts dread and excitement. It's that. So it's like, very excited for what's happening today. Very excited. But also super nervous. And we'll see how it all goes. Nightbot, you're saying the wrong code. We actually have a special code today. It's still saying the rebroadcast code from earlier, so don't trust that. That's not correct. Somebody needs to fix that. It'll change once you start. All right. Hello, Gar. Welcome. Looking forward to someone asking the inevitable "what's the tea today?" question, because haha, I'm prepared. Very prepared. Oh man, almost forgot to get my intro script up. Should the question now be, how many teas are you drinking today? Very good, Funky Pants. Very good. It was a bit of a mad rush to get everything ready. Running a couple minutes late here, but we got it all going in time, so. Just a few more seconds. Deep breaths. Come on, Mars. Oh, Star Chaser, I'm actually getting mine tomorrow. Kevin asking the familiars question before we even are up on the screen. Amazing. Great. Alright. So, Orchira. Alright. Let's see if this works. So, hey! Greetings, champions! Welcome to Mars Guiding Hand. I'm Mars, this is Lauren, and this is Idle Champions of the Forgotten Realms, a free-to-play, officially licensed Dungeons & Dragons formation strategy game for Codename Entertainment. On this partner stream, we take a look at all the latest content, discuss strategy, and answer any questions you may have about the game. Get cozy and join me and Lauren, my first ever guest, for a couple of hours. We're gonna just enjoy all things Idle Champions. Today is Wednesday, April 7th, 2021. And in this episode, we'll be talking about Orchira, as well as with the person most qualified to talk about Orchira, the actual player and creator of Orchira, Lauren Urban. So, Lauren, would you like to introduce yourself? I've never.
Sure. Hi. I've come to crash your stream.
Awesome.
I am excited to be here. I'm Lauren Urban. I am when I am not playing this character right here, I'm the community manager for Idle Champions of the Forgotten Realms, but today I am here to geek out over the fact that this character that I've been playing for almost 2.5 years now on several shows has shown up in the game.
Nice.
So with that out of the way, I'd like to get to the important part, which is today I am drinking out of my D4 mug. I have got some the important part. I've got some Setting Things on Fire, which is a tea from Friday afternoon, which is not only lovely, but is very appropriate for the character that I'm playing. I also have, in my D&D mug, I have some of the Zumbo White Pearls, also from Friday afternoon, which is also one of my favorite teas, and sits there. I also have, in my Buffalo Billiards cup here, which is it's Buffalo Brew Pub, sorry, which I've had forever because I grew up in Buffalo and I miss their wings, but hey, I love living on the West Coast. This is some of the Blackberry Sage tea, which is from Republic of Tea, which I also like very, very much. So I hope I've lived up to the Mars tea hype.
Oh my god, yes, like cup for cup, blow for blow. This is fantastic. Okay. So
what you got? What you got? I'm excited.
What you got?
Yeah, bring it. Bring your tea.
I gotta step up. All right, so here I have my little clay pot, and this actually has Critical Blend from Friday Afternoon Teas. So
CB.
we have both elected to prepare a Friday tea, which is wonderful. I think she would really appreciate that. I also have here. Let's see. Oh, actually, I got that wrong. This has my Friday tea in it. This has my Friday tea. What's in here is actually a cinnamon orange chai.
Ooh.
And that is from Inspired Fine Teas. It's a company that I'm just trying out. In here, I have from Ticino. This is a vanilla nut herbal tea. It's very dark, very, very dark.
Ooh.
And I have my Dragon Rose in a blue mug here. And I think that's it. I think I got 4 teas. Yeah.
You beat me by 1, but you know, you are the tea master here. I am just the guest. So.
And you are my wonderful special guest, and I can't tell you how excited I am about all this.
Listen, I am super happy to be here because I do a lot of streaming, but I do a lot of streaming as a guest somewhere or someone else running the stream. And one of the things that when you're lucky enough to have a character in the game, one of the things that is fun to do is unlock that character in game on stream and like look at all their gear and everything. And so I said, well, I kind of work for this company now instead of me just doing it on my private channel for no one. Why don't I just ask like my friends if I could just crash their streams with lots of tea? So here we are.
I'm so stoked about this because you and I have talked about doing something collaboratively off and on for weeks, whether it's like a stream or some kind of DM's Guild thing or whatever, just some kind of collaboration. So having you on as my first ever guest for Guiding Hand is special. It's really special. Because you were like super supportive of this show, even from before your time working with Codename Entertainment. You've just been like in chat, hanging out, answering questions, and being just a wholesome light in the community for months. And
I like this game, so
it's a good
I'm
video
glad
game.
to be here. Yeah. So I do have the chat open, but I know you normally get questions. Do you just grab them from chat, or do
I just
you
grab
get
them from
them
chat?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I just pull questions myself, whatever we want. If you want to answer questions, then have at it. I will as well. Whose screen are we watching? This is mine, Aquatic Demon. We're watching my screen.
I mean, this is Mars Guiding Hand. I felt it was appropriate for it to be Mars's game. To answer the question that came up from Slitherus, wanted to know where I can get a D4 mug.
Yes,
so
please.
yeah, D4 is one of the shows that I'm very lucky to play on. I've guested on them before, and I'm currently playing on the show on a regular basis. If you go to, I'm forgetting the name of their website where you can actually buy merch. There's a whole bunch of merch available for the show. There's mugs, there's purple pants, there's t-shirts, all kinds of stuff. There's glasses.
Amazing.
So follow D4D&D on Twitter, and that will lead you to all of the places.
Beautiful.
And it is an awesome mug. I am very happy.
I'm gonna
with
want that mug.
it.
Add it to my
mug?
rowing collection.
The mug and the sweatpants, the purple
And the
pants.
pants.
Oh my god, they're so comfy.
Oh, you've
I know
actually
they call
tried them. Awesome.
Oh, I have a pair. Yeah.
Awesome. Good.
Are you kidding? They put out Harold's Rash pants, and I'm like, well, I have to buy this now. And they
Heck
are
yeah.
an incredibly comfy pair of sweatpants.
This is so cool. Okay, so
How do we want to do this?
how do we want to do this? I mean, yeah, I prepped like some scratch notes basically, but I just felt like more open-ended would probably be nicer instead of like a more scripted thing. So
Yeah.
Here's
before we get
where I'm at. Oh, go ahead.
Okay, I was gonna say, well, before we get into questions, are you unlocking her in the game?
Yes.
Because
I'm actively unlocking her in the game. I put an epic speed potion on. I'm using my speed champions. We're doing the thing. We're halfway through the adventure right now.
Awesome. So once you get to unlock, I'm just excited because
Me too.
We dropped the event and then I kind of just came right here, so I haven't had a chance to play myself. So
man.
I know, right?
Wow. Yeah.
Well,
you must be biting at the bit.
A little bit, but I'm watching you play, and I'll have plenty of time. Anyway, so going back to you, I just wanted to know, like, is it happening? Is it happening?
Oh, it's happening. Yeah, I'm going like full force to try to get her going here. In fact, let me go even faster. All right, that's as fast as I can possibly go at the moment.
We've gone to plaid.
Okay,
anyway.
so I mentioned this on Discord with you, but I'm also going to say it like out loud for the audience here. Life is very busy, and I wish I had more time to consume media of D&D live plays, and I do not. So I know basically nothing about Orchira, and I would love to know about Orchira from the person who plays Orchira.
Okay.
So
I'm sure there's a lot of people in your position, especially watching your stream, who are fans of the game, but not necessarily fans of me. You know, so that's fine. So Orchira, she is a Dragonborn cleric originally from the Vale. She is yes, there we go. She started off as a normal-looking Dragonborn, gold Dragonborn, no wings, no tail, no spikes, no scars, none of that. And she started off on a show called Heroes of the Vale back when I worked for D&D Beyond. And DM by most of the people that you're going to hear about that are important in Orchira's life, she's have been in all of these shows. They've just kind of morphed from one show to another. So she's been on a lot of shows, but it's been like this group of us. So when she started off, she was just this normal-ish. She was actually a cleric of Pelor, for those that want to know. She was a light cleric. So she was always about fire and healing, helping her friends, and fire. And to make a season of Heroes of the Vale very, very short, DM'd by the amazing Todd Kenrick, and things that happened very early on in her adventures with her new found family of people. One of the reasons she went off on this adventure, she's been searching for the Phoenix, a elemental that has shown up and actually destroyed her clan, her original Dragonborn tribe. And she went looking for this creature, not necessarily out of like spite or anger, but just to find out why, because it seemed very random. And you do find out in the game why, and it wasn't the Phoenix's fault and things. While she was out on this adventure, story reasons, several times during the first season, she encountered a Cybriex, which for those that don't know or haven't played that adventure, because I think Cybriex shows up in a couple of places. It's the big ugly demon with the chains and the ooze and it's a flesh warper is what it is. And it was a big part. Yeah, Descendants of Avernus. Don't let one of those things touch you. So it had basically created an infection that had infected this entire planet and was turning the planet into mutated zombie creatures. And while we were fighting a dragon that was mutated with this thing, Orchira got bit, and she was turning into a creature and was able to be saved, but grew wings and a tail and spikes and all sorts of stuff. And then later on, met the Cybriex that had done this to her.
Oh, the same one.
The same one, the one that had created this thing. And for reasons that are an entire season of D&D, they were actually trying to help free it from a prison. And it, in thanks, poked her again and made her start to grow into a dragon, which she was very unhappy with and spent an entire... Yeah, it's just like, hey, let me thank you by like altering your DNA again. And she eventually, like, stopped most of it, but that's why she looks like she does. This is not what normal Dragonborn in D&D 5th edition look like. She's been heavily altered, and so now everybody thinks she's a dragon, but she's actually a Dragonborn. And along the way, she also found out about the Phoenix and ended up switching from Pelor to praying to this elder primordial who is on the plane of fire. And so yeah, her whole life is about helping her friends and healing people and helping people that she can, and occasionally burning stuff. And she's fallen in with this group that includes Briv and Alindra and Penelope and Freely and Averin. And am I missing someone? I always feel like I'm missing someone. And the Heroes of the Plains. She's fallen in with them, and they've become part of her found family. And that is kind of the short and long of her. She is normally a very kind of happy, outgoing creature, but she is also, because she is the cleric, she does a lot of keeping everybody alive. And for anybody that has watched any of our shows or have watched, say, Idle Champions Presents and have encountered Freely and Briv and know how they're act first, think later kinds of people, she spends a lot of time chasing after them to help keep them alive. So she alternates between being kind of this happy, sociable person to being incredibly anxious and a little bit of a mom. And that is her in a nutshell.
I love it. That was beautiful. That was detailed yet succinct. That was exactly what I wanted. Thank you very much, Lauren.
You're welcome. There's so much more, but that's kind of yeah. And that's so there was 2 chapters, we call them, of Heroes of the Plains, which were like 40 episodes or so. And then that show morphed into Beyond Heroes, which was essentially the same cast, but that's when we picked up B-Dave as a regular instead of just a guest star. And there was about I think we had 25 episodes of Beyond Heroes. And then when that ended, a bunch of us went to Silver and Steel, and we're on Silver and Steel for a while. And now that's ended, we were lucky enough, Demiplane has picked us up, and now we're Heroes of the Plains. And then some of us ended up in other places, which is how in other places at the same time, which is how Orchira on Sunday nights you can see on D4 in Waterdeep, and then on Tuesday nights you can see on Demiplanar RPG in Heroes of the Plains.
I find myself forgetting, like, there's little moments where I'm forgetting that I'm like hosting this, because I'm settling into like viewer mentality of like, Lauren's talking about something cool, I'm just gonna listen.
I hope it's cool.
I'm kind of starstruck. I'm kind of starry-eyed to like that I'm actually talking to you about this. This is so cool.
Well, I'm glad that you enjoy it. I was telling part of this whole process has been letting myself geek out about my own character, because it's sometimes like when you're a D&D player, sometimes it's a little hard when people are like, oh, so what do you play? Because I think the vast majority of the time people want, like, I'm a Dragonborn cleric. That's what they want. And so you don't want to overwhelm people with story, but I've had to let myself tell the story because, some people want to hear. This is
the time to share the story. Your character is being added to a video game. I mean, it has been added to a video game. You are living the dream as far as like D&D nerds go. Like, you've got all these live play shows that you're involved in, and now the character of your own creation is in a video game that's an official D&D video game.
Right?
How does that feel? It's gotta be amazing.
To be honest, this is gonna come out weird, but I've been waiting so long because, like, obviously the Heroes of the Plains have been in the process of going into this game for a while. So that's why I don't think this is a huge surprise to a lot of people, because we're like, how many other heroes are in the game already? It's not a surprise. This has been an ongoing thing, and so it's been literally, it's been like a year and a half that I've kind of known it was eventually going to happen. And then because, actually doing the work to add content to a video game takes a lot of time, this has been an active thing since like October. So part of me is this has taken a long enough period of time and where I'm like, oh yeah, I've been thinking about this for a while. And then part of me also, because I work for the company now, is constantly like, I've been working on Orchira, And then every once in a while I look over and I'm like, oh, people are talking about my character. And they're talking, there's a moment before she got released and people were, or they were looking at some of the stuff when like little bits had been released about her, and people were like, so what's going on with her in pants? And I'm like, oh yeah, I have to like explain that now, don't I?
Yeah, you're gonna have to explain that to those of us who have no idea what's going on.
So I saw there was a reset. Does that mean that Orchira was unlocked?
Yes, I didn't want to interrupt you. I've unlocked Orchira, so I've jumped into a Torm adventure so that we can actually put her in the formation and like actually read her bio, talk about her abilities and all of that. So let's do that.
Because I feel like if we're gonna go into the pants story, we might as well
explore
talk
the
about
character first.
We should just talk about her equipment in general. So let's pull her up. I'm excited.
All right, so she is leveling now. I'm going to get back to specializations in a bit. So to start with, here we go. And please correct me if I mispronounce something, since this is a very rare situation that I actually have someone that could do that for me. So, Orchira, Chaotic Good Dragonborn Cleric, is both a healing and support dual-role champion of the Heroes of the Plains affiliation, shared with Alindra, Averin, Briv, Freely, and Penelope. 13 Strength, 14 Dexterity, 16 Constitution, so Vajra's good, also Chaotic Good, so that means Mert's good. 8 Intelligence, so not making friends with Strahd. 20 Wisdom, 18 Charisma. Okay, so I think between the Strength and the Charisma, I think you're also good for Zereal then. Nice. So Orchira Ildrex is a gold dragonborn from the Nentir Vale, where she grew up nurturing a love of healing and fire. Between a strange life filled with monsters, gods, time, and multi-planar travel, death, the destruction of worlds, and the saving of others, Orchira has survived and adapted to deal with any situation with a motto of one problem at a time, which I really adore. That is an excellent mantra to live by. Okay.
It's become her frantic mantra, that one problem at a time. All right, here we go.
All right, so starting off, at level 30, she gets her Lesser Restoration ability. Orchira heals all non-adjacent damage champions for what looks like 7 health per second. And I'm imagining that's something that upgrades over time.
Yeah, people were asking if she was a tank, and I'm like, well, she wears in D&D, she wears scale mail, so her AC isn't like bad. She's not a tank. She is she wants to be 30 feet away from everybody at all times.
A respectful, safe distance.
Well, 30 feet lets her do a lot of the stuff that she can do, because when you're a cleric, you can do a bunch of stuff from like a middle distance. Yeah. And then while the mutations that gave her wings and a tail and all of this stuff, they gave her a fly speed. She has a 50-foot fly speed.
Nice.
But she lost walking speed. She only has a 25-foot walking speed, while most Dragonborn have a 30-foot walking speed.
That's an interesting trade-off.
Yeah, because she's awkward. Because she got mutated, she was, what I like to say is, despite the art, and this is not, I'm not talking about Isle Champions, I'm talking about all the art, because if you ask an artist, hey, can you draw this character who is not in proportion with themselves? Like, artists hate that. They hate that so much.
Could you intentionally go against your desire to make things proportional?
Yeah, and I don't ask people to, because, like, unless you know the character really well, all anyone sees is why is her legs longer than her arms? Why is everything weird? But like the reality is when she got mutated, it's all wonky, and so she has a hard time walking because she now is built to be a flyer. But no, she is not a tank in any way, shape, or form. She wants to be somewhere where she can be within 30 feet of people so she can fly up and, like, Death Ward. So that's why the healing not support. Adjacent people is in-game is very appropriate.
Nice. Okay. So that wasn't just, like, a fun mechanic. That like, really feeds into your whole idea of how you play Orchira. That's fantastic. I love when it's true to form.
Yeah, but it wasn't like it feeds in a lot of the stuff that the designers came up with that are some of the powers and abilities that she has were not things that I came up with. They were things that they came up with after hearing me talk about her. Like it's a testament to them that they listened to me, talk about how I play her in a D&D game. And I do think this is one of the more subtle ones because she does get up to do some healing, but she's like get in, heal, and get back out, so she can be constantly moving. So there's a bunch of stuff in her character that is game related that is 100%. Oh, this is how I play this character in D&D, and this is one of them.
So the whole process, the whole design process with the team was like super collaborative.
Oh yeah, literally
Excellent.
The first thing I did was we had a meeting for an hour with a whole bunch of people, artists, designers, marketers, and they were all like, okay, just tell us the story of Orchira. And if you think I can TLDR her entire story in 5 minutes with you, give me an hour. Give me an hour and tell me.
That must have been fun.
It was honestly the first moment I had of like, oh, you really want to know the whole story. Okay, all right, I'll do this.
Cool.
And then, yeah, it was a lot of back and forth. It was a lot of, hey, here's her equipment. Here's what we're thinking. Here's what she looks like. Do you have any alterations? Here's her power set. So yeah, there's a power that she has. I talked about this in the interview with Todd. There's a power that she has that I kind of wish I had in D&D, because it's totally up Orchira's alley, but there's no D&D equivalent to the power. So when we get
really
to it,
excited to go through the other abilities.
Yeah.
All right. Next up is Elemental Fire at level 80. Whenever Orchira damages an enemy, they receive 1 stack of Elemental Fire, taking 10% of Orchira's damage per second for 15 seconds, and receiving 100% additional damage from all attacks. Oh, so okay, it's a debuff then. People are gonna love that. This ability stacks up to 10 times additively. Okay, and attempting to add another stack will reset the cooldown of all stacks. Oh,
because when you set things on fire,
yeah,
they tend to stay on fire. They tend to get more fire.
They're not having a good day. They're gonna get hurt more easily. Oh boy.
Exactly.
The camera's not having a good day either. Focus. There we go.
There you go.
Next is Healing Flame at 140. Increase the effect of Elemental Fire by 100% for each order of magnitude worth of effective healing done with Lesser Restoration on the current run.
That's a complex one, yeah.
Okay, yeah. By the time I got to the end of that sentence, I forgot how it started.
There's math involved with that.
Yeah. Boy, I wish I was as good at the math of Idle Champions as some folks in our community. I love that we have real math heads in the Idle Champions community that really crunch these numbers, because I couldn't do this without you guys. Much love.
Same. Absolute same. Yep.
Okay.
Also, yes, Roland, Newton's 0th law, objects on fire tend to stay on fire.
Oh, and people were asking what slot Orchira's in. Slot 1, just because I hadn't said that out loud yet. Slot 1, so swapping with Brunork, Athris, Deacon, Sasaspia, Turiel.
She doesn't get to play with Deacon.
That's sad, actually.
I know.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no slot that she could be in where I wouldn't go, oh, but they don't get to play with so-and-so now, but
That's the issue.
Yeah.
Maybe one day we'll have the slot 13 that everyone hopes for. So her specializations, I don't know if she has multiple, but this is at least the first set. So we have Breath of the Phoenix, left spec, and we have Tail Feather of the Phoenix, interesting, right spec. So Breath of the Phoenix, Orchira focuses on applying more stacks of elemental fire as quickly as possible. Increase the size of Orchira's Burning Hands AoE cone, that's her basic attack, I haven't said that yet, and have elemental fire apply 2 stacks instead of 1. Okay, so it increases the size, the actual physical size of her attack, and also does her stacks twice as fast. Okay, I could see that being popularly used. Tail Feather of the Phoenix. Orchira focuses on healing those who are injured and even those who are not. Increases the effect of Lesser Restoration by 100%. Lesser Restoration will now heal undamaged champions, and Healing Flame will count 1% of this non-effective healing as well. Huh.
More math.
More math. Yeah, I gotta say, like, gut reaction, I'm not sure which of these is actually going to be, like, objectively better, which is a good thing, in my opinion, for game design. Like, I could see both of these being useful for different reasons. Which one should we go with? Which one would you pick?
I mean, so if you're asking me from a narrative stance, what I like about this is it's basically asking, is this the difference between DPS and healing? Is this the difference between more fire or more heals? And Orchira does tend to lean towards more heals. She is...
More heals. Tail feather.
Yeah. So in D&D, she is constantly at war with herself in a way. There are only ever 2 clerics of the Phoenix. One is of destruction, and one is of resurrection.
Oh, that is cool.
And she doesn't know which one she is.
Oh!
Desperately wants to be the cleric of resurrection. And that's kind of her default answer to things, is to heal and to support and protect. But she also has the...
I love that.
It just happened for those that watched Heroes of the Plains last night. She does also reach a point, and she just burns everything to the ground. So, like, it kind of depends on which way she goes, and she always feels a little guilty about the destruction part. So she tends to go towards healing more than destruction, but she also has some pretty major firepower when she wants to, because, clerics.
That is so great. I love that. I love that. That internal war between like, who am I? What role do I serve in this binary? She doesn't know which one she is. That is great. Okay, let's see. After we got the specialization, is there anything else? Why is my scroll bar rubber banding back to the top?
Why, game? Okay. Why? I mean,
I think it's all just further upgrades. Okay, so in that case,
there should be 2 other things. There should be self-sacrifice, which isn't actually as bad as it sounds.
Let's see if we can spot. There it is. Self-sacrifice. Yeah. If a champion or Orchira is able to heal, non-adjacent, it's nice that they reminded you here in the text, is about to take a killing blow, Orchira instantly swaps formation slots with that champion for 10 seconds and takes the hit for them. My brain's already trying to think of, like, how does this work with Baloth or Strix? During this time, Orchira's overwhelm point is set to twice the other champions, and neither Orchira nor the other champion can be moved, removed, or swapped out. After the time expires, they swap back, regardless of whether Orchira and or the other champion died during the time. This effect can only occur once every 60 seconds. Okay.
So I don't know how effective this will be in-game, but the moment I read this, I was like, how can I get this in my D&D game?
Right.
Because I think this is especially at the higher levels that she is now, Orchira does a lot of death wards, which for those of you who don't play D&D, death ward is literally a spell that mostly clerics, although a couple of other classes can cast, that literally is a ward against death. And the mechanics of it just basically mean if you're about to die, instead of dying, you just go to 1 hit point. It happens once. And you can cast it on people and as many spell slots as you have. And so it's become this thing. It's become Orchira's safety blanket with her friends who want to rush off into danger freely. So the joke is she death wards the halflings. She'll death ward Freely and Penelope because the 2 of them rush off into danger. She'll sometimes death ward some of the others, but those are the 2 that tend to be on the front lines who tend to die a lot. That may change. So the idea of her being able to swap in that moment and tank something is really interesting to me because what she does in D&D is she does that when there is fire happening because she's a gold dragonborn, so she's resistant to fire damage.
That makes sense.
So, and because of who she is and what she is and who she prays to and how much she understands how fire can be both a bad and a good thing. The fire is a tool, and that in the wrong hands, people get burnt and towns get burnt and everything gets turned to ash. And in the right hands, it's, the wildfire that helps regrow the forest. It is it's the thing that you use to cauterize a wound to prevent somebody from being, from bleeding out. It is the warmth of a campfire that heats up your food. So like, it's all how you use it. But she also understands that she is because she is resistant to fire, she's a bulwark. And so there have been many times in where there's been an explosion about to go off, and she shields her friends and family, which is, as much as she can in a D&D game. So this is related to a lot of that, which is why this is the power that I read that I was like, she would totally do this in game. If I could just, like, as a reaction, swap with somebody and tank the damage so that they don't die, she would do that all the time. 100%.
There's precedent for it. Back in 3rd edition, I had a character who had like a specific build. He was like a monk fighter. He had like a specific build that actually enabled him to do exactly that. There's like a feat back in 3rd edition, but maybe like that could be adapted to 5th edition or something. But there is a precedent for a game mechanic in D&D just from an older edition for jump in front of someone and like take the hit for them. So yeah. I could see Orchira doing that. The whole idea behind how fire can be not just the great destroyer, but also the great creator, the nurturer. That's a beautiful thing. It's something that I feel like a lot of D&D characters miss out on. Because like, haha, burn everything. Okay, but what if it was like a beautiful creative thing and not just destructive? It smacks of Avatar: Last Airbender, like Zuko visiting like the people that worship the dragons on the island, and anyway, it's a beautiful thing. I love that whole concept. I had a character that was all about like the fire of like passion, not just as a destructive energy, but as like a creative passion force. Yeah. So this is cool. I could see myself using Orchira a lot. I feel like I'm resonating more with this character the more I'm learning about her.
Aww. And then her ultimate
She's
comes
got a
along.
lot of competition. And then her ultimate comes along, which we should talk about. So this is Radiance of the Phoenix, Magic Ultimate. Orchira summons the Phoenix to rain elemental fire down upon the battlefield. This deals damage and increases the elemental fire stacks. Okay, so what I'm going to do here...
Are you going to set her off? Are you going to set her off? Because this is adorable.
I'm going to take out my whole team here, except for Orchira.
Okay.
And let's go to a boss stage. Let's go
this is something that Orchira can do in D&D. It's a homebrew thing that Todd created. That's more of a story thing. It's not a power that I really have, but it is related to that. So, and it doesn't quite work in the game way. Also, I love the grin that she has whenever she attacks. She's just like, yay! Yay! It's a moment of like, I can do something to save my friends and I don't have to worry. Yay, fine. Yeah.
All right,
set her off.
All right, here we go. Oh, okay, well, at least the fire's gonna come down for everything else. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god! It's still going!
He just flies back. Just like, hey, everybody. Hey, I'm back.
Okay, so I watched like your interview, your chat that you had with Todd, like twice. So like I saw that animation, right? But it was just like clips of it, like interspersed between you talking to him, and I haven't seen like the full animation until now. That goes on for a while.
Yeah,
that goes on for way longer than I thought it would.
Yeah, well, so her ultimate is based on the fact that she hates this so much, but she is called the Destroyer of Worlds.
Because she curious why.
So, when you are a cleric of let me back up. Okay. Remember how I said her entire Dragonborn clan got killed?
Yes.
By the Phoenix?
Sorry about that.
It happens. It happened just the once. The way it happened is, as I said, there's only ever 2 clerics of the Phoenix, and they each have a holy symbol, which is a book, which basically details being a cleric of the Phoenix. The way that you become a cleric of the Phoenix is you find one of these books, and you become devout to them, and you summon them. And if you summon them and they're happy with you, then you survive and you become one of their clerics. And if you summon them and you are a bad person or want to do bad things, then stuff gets destroyed.
So it's a trial by fire, literally.
It's a little bit, yeah. And
cool.
The Phoenix themselves, they're a neutral-ish entity, like fire. You can use fire for good or for evil. So the Phoenix is not necessarily like a good entity. It's swayed by the people that summon it. So Orchira's tribe was destroyed because someone was trying to use the Phoenix essentially to destroy an area. They weren't actually being devout. They were just using the book and the ritual in order to summon this elder elemental. And when you do that, you explode and you destroy a whole big area. Todd likens it to setting off a nuclear bomb. And then the Phoenix will go on and just destroy whole swaths of stuff. Towns, cities, worlds. So when Orchira did that, she was intentionally on a world filled with nothing but undead and summoned this elder elemental specifically to destroy all of the undead and save her planet. And in the process also became a cleric of the Phoenix, and that's how she switched on over. But what happens is she explodes, and it usually kills the person. So she's technically died a couple of times.
Oh, wow.
And in the D&D game, there's a ritual you have to do, and the important component, you can't just do it isn't like a spell or anything. There's a component that you need, which is a red gem, like a ruby worth 25,000 gold pieces. It's not like she can just do it. And then there's all this collateral damage. Like, she can't promise, every once in a while Freya would be like, oh, can you just summon the Phoenix and get the Phoenix here and just destroy this giant monster? And Orchira's like, I can, but it'll also destroy the entire world. Like, there's no boundaries, there's no control. There's just, hey, would you mind showing up and destroying everything? So that's what that's based on. She explodes like a nuclear bomb because she summons the Phoenix, which shows up and destroys everything.
I think it definitely gets the point across. Fire.
But what I love
everywhere.
is in this version of the game, she doesn't die. She just happily flies back to the formation. It's just like, hi, everybody. Hey, so, boss is dead. Look, world is still here. This is great. So it's actually kind of better in the game.
That's fantastic. Okay. Shall we get into equipment for Orchira?
Yeah. Let's talk about equipment. Okay.
So,
I'm sorry, this has kind of turned into like lore dump for Orchira. I didn't realize that this is going to be...
It wasn't my intention either. It's just how it is. And it's a beautiful thing to just have organic conversation like this.
You have a lot of chests.
Yeah, y'all hooked me up with a lot of Orchira chests to open here. So let's do like 10 at a time?
Yeah,
sure.
Do a bunch. I mean, we could look at the stuff after,
Yeah, that's true. We can just open, like, everything and then just, like, scroll through all the stuff. All right. Well.
Here we go. Life, the universe, and every chest.
Do it. Hey, look, we got all of the gear for Orchira. Holy
Problem
crud.
solved.
Problem solved. And we just instantly have all of her epics. That's beautiful. I've literally never done that before, so this is cool.
It's a first.
Wow.
It's a first for everybody.
Oh my gosh, that is a gorgeous book. Oh,
that's her holy symbol. Which is way more gorgeous in this art than I'd ever imagined. I told them, I'm like, it's a small beautiful. Leather. I actually have a version of it as a very good friend made one. Yeah, it's all the way over there. I can't go get it right now, but there's pictures of it. It's a small leather-bound journal sized book with an embossed phoenix on the cover, and then they made this epic version of it, which is amazing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, that's this is okay. And there's the pants and the feather resurrection components. You look like a cup spilleth over with resurrection components. That must be good.
Yeah.
Homemade treats. I'm curious, what even are these homemade treats? What it looks like a little marshmallow thing.
That's what they are, the marshmallows.
Oh, really?
That's what they are, the little marshmallows.
Well, I guess they nailed it.
Yeah.
Because I just guessed it. That's great.
So, when you're a creature who is fascinated by fire, who likes to hang out on the elemental plane of fire, marshmallows are going to be a thing, right? Absolutely. She had for the longest time, and she has again, she lost it in between. She had a collapsible 10-foot pole. And the purpose of the pole was literally to be able to roast marshmallows over lava. Marshmallows are a thing. They are her favorite food. They are the way she helps make friends. Hey, you want some marshmallows?
I'd love some, thank you.
She just has.
I love Dungeons and Dragons so much.
There's an out of game story with how she ended up with this bag of marshmallows. People be like, hey, you want some marshmallows? Yeah, I've got a bunch. They're slightly stale. She just has this bag that creates marshmallows all the time.
Just a bag of endless marshmallows.
It's a bag of endless marshmallows. She got it on discount during Beyond Heroes. They were based out of Sigil, which, if you don't know, Sigil is kind of like New York City except weird, and you can find anything.
Interdimensional New York City.
Exactly. You can get anywhere. You can do anything. She was looking for more important things and found this confectioner shop and was going to buy some marshmallows. And because D&D, they had, and this is all out of game. This is all like, this isn't in a game. This is just fun things that we came up with. The confectioner shop had this bag of endless marshmallows that they were selling on discount because the way it's supposed to work is you put your hand in and what happened? Oh, you're
she did the ultimate again because I had a familiar on it.
the way it's supposed to work is you put your hand in and it creates a marshmallow and you pull out a marshmallow. Except the way it was working is it just would create marshmallows until it would fill the bag. And so what happens when it's just in a little pouch. So of course they get slightly stale because they're sitting in the pouch all the time. So she has this bag of endless marshmallows, but they're always slightly stale because it just is creating them all the time.
I love that.
But what I did not anticipate was how adorable they would make those marshmallows.
They're so cute. They when you get real close, you can see that they got little faces and like little floppy ears and got little smiles and happy looking eyes, and they're adorable. I don't want to eat them. They're so cute.
But the bag will make more. It's fine.
Okay, as long as the bag will make more, that's fine.
Bag always makes more. So yes, so marshmallows are a thing, and that's why one of her equipment slots is all about marshmallow fluff and stuff and endless bag of marshmallows. I think if you go into her full list of equipment, not just
in the collection.
Yeah. Orchira.
Zyken
is in chat asking about Orchira peeps. I would love that. That would be amazing.
So here's the uncommon.
Oh, it didn't give you any whites. Oh.
Well, because they're all golds. Gold chests never have white commentary yet. Yeah, I'm gonna have to open a bunch of silvers now. Or Electrum chest should take care of me, so I should be able to get that today.
I'm just sad because some of the flavor text on some of the whites makes me happy.
Well, we could do that real quick. All I need to do is just pop open some Electrum chests. Hold up.
I mean, hopefully you'll get. While you do that,
I'll also be getting Rhea stuff, by the way. Because I haven't geared her up yet either.
Astro Samurai wants to know, does Orchira like the musician marshmallow? I don't know.
Never heard of them.
Let's see. Awakened bag of marshmallows familiar when? I really want an Orchira peep now. Yes, so Star Chaser is mentioning about Orchira's wisdom being 20. So, fun fact, because Orchira has been in a couple of different shows, she's had a few different stat blocks. And the stat block that she has in the game is based on her stats that she has in D4. At that, she's level 9, and those are actually rolled stats that one of the DMs, Dustin, rolled for me. Because up until then, she had been using the standard array and had some pretty basic stats. And so when I moved over to D4, everybody in D4 rolls their stats. So Dustin said, go ahead and roll some stats. And I was using the D&D Beyond dice roller so that we could keep track of, so I could, just take a screenshot and be like, all right, here's my stats. And I've been joking with him ahead of time that really the only thing I was interested in is that her wisdom needs to be high so that she can be effective, and her intelligence needs to be 8 because that is really key to who she is. She's wise, but she is wise, but she's not smart. And she's the bad joke about her is that she learned about her god and everything from this book, but she's not a book learner. She is 100% she's not a person who can study. She has no idea really about organized religion. That's not her. So I rolled stats on D&D Beyond, and they were horrible. I got a 5 and a 7. Yeah. And
man.
Nothing above a 12. It was a 5, 7, 10, 11, 12 or something like that. But
that's a fun character right there.
And so I'm looking at this going, okay, well, I don't have to worry about her intelligence being not low enough. Okay. And so I sent the stats off to Dustin, and I went, all right, here we are. There was this long pause I think we were messaging each other over Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
And I was worried for a moment. I'm like, oh, did I do something wrong? And then he got back to me with a screenshot of different stats. And he's like, why don't you use these? Because the ones you just rolled are death by farming. So those stats are the ones that are in the game, or the ones that Dustin from D4 rolled. And thank you for that, because she would be such a bad character. She had like a 5 and a 7 and things. Oh, it'd be the worst.
I love that she has such a huge disparity between the wisdom and the intelligence. It is so much fun to play a character that has a large contrast in their ability scores. It's like, yes, I'm incredibly capable in certain ways.
Yep.
Only.
Yeah.
And otherwise, I'm helpless.
I love playing those. I think those are the best balanced characters. Like,
yeah, because it gives other people at the table like opportunities to shine.
Exactly. Yeah. You want to be effective. You deserve to be heroic, and so you want those high numbers in like a stat or two, and then a couple of stats you want okay, in the middle, and then that one or two that are just really bad. That give you not just other people places to shine, but give you the flaws to work off of.
Yes,
and so,
because flawed characters are realistic characters.
Yeah. And so like her because her wisdom is so high, she also has the observant feat. So her passive perception is a 28. So,
whoa!
Yeah.
Nothing gets by Orchira.
Well, that's what she's learned is like, I need to be on the lookout for anything, or else Freely's just gonna run off somewhere and he's gonna die. So she's the person who sees stuff but doesn't know what to do with it. She's the person who points at the trouble but doesn't know how to fix it. She's the person who notices the trap. Exactly. So okay, so you got the
So we got one white common item from.
You actually got the one white that I wanted you to.
Really? Oh my god, fantastic. So Undead Basher, huh?
Yeah.
Tell Averin I do not need one of his creepy bags. This will work just fine. What's up with that?
So, Orchira has had multiple experiences with a bag of holding. All of them from Averin. Every single one has been horrible. They've all been either bags of devouring, and multiple times they have they've not really been bags of holding, or they've been bags of holding that have actually included or holding an extra dimensional space that she has gotten stuck in.
Oh.
So we'll talk about the pants later, but the pants are one of the reasons. And we'll talk about Harold later, but on multiple occasions in game, in the show, she has been eaten or stuck inside of a bag of holding that holds an extra dimensional space and has spent literally years there, and it's never been good. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
One of them was 6 years, and one of them she spent a lifetime, but it was a timey-wimey thing. So it you could say it was up to 1,000 years, but it might not have been. So yes. So every time a bag of holding shows up, she's like, nope. So that's why the basic version of her bag is calling out Averin.
That's wonderful. This makes me want to really hunt down the rest of her common tier items to see what those are. And I just gotta complete my collection.
Gotta catch them all.
Gotta catch them all. Speaking of which, I need to get shiny pants as well.
Yeah.
I am curious now. I saved my potion of polish from the end of the spring extravaganza in the hopes that like a wild shot, just total moonshot. What if this lands on Orchira?
Let's do it.
Lucius. Okay.
Do it.
That would have been so cool, though.
That
would have been great. Yeah, got on Lucius. All right, everyone, just pretend that landed on Orchira, and now she.
You've got a lot of shiny Orchira stuff, so and she has shiny pants.
I shouldn't complain. Oh, we haven't looked at her feats yet. Let's look at her feats.
Well, wait. So we got to go back to the pants. I've been teasing. The pants
yeah, totally. I am very curious because they are very purple.
They're very purple. So this is going to also tie into one of her other pieces of equipment. So
good.
When one of the first time that she ended up in a bag, in one of Averin's bags.
The first time, yeah.
The first time, because there's been multiple. There's been, in canon, 3 times. Yeah, she has a bad... Right. Averin's bags are bad.
Rules
so
of
the
3
first
have
time,
applied.
Good. It happened in the middle of the night, and she was in a nightgown. And it had been just after she had been mutated and turned into this. So she wasn't... she basically had, ripped a nightgown. And she was... The way I described it was because we woke up in the middle of the night, you ever see the original BBC version of Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy? The one. Okay.
I have not.
If you get a chance, it's awesome. It's super, super British.
I'll make it
If you like Hitchhiker's Guide, go watch the original BBC TV version. It started as them doing a radio play of the like written by Douglas Adams.
Wow,
and then they
cool.
turned it into a TV show. And it is very British. It is very 80s. It is but it's awesome.
A lot of people sounding off in chat that they definitely have seen this and they loved it. Yeah.
It's amazing. I can quote whole sections of that. Some of the book is just like is just like ingrained into my brain. Jen Kretschmer, who plays Alindra, I mean, most of the cast are also fans, but Jen and I on a very regular basis are just whenever we can throw a Hitchhiker's quote into our game. It makes us happy. So when I was asked, what's Orchira wearing? What she's wearing when she wakes up one night is Arthur Dent's housecoat. In Hitchhiker's Guide, he spends the entire book, because he's woken up before he has a chance to get dressed by a bulldozer about to bulldoze his house. And he goes and lays down in front of it. And that's how the whole book begins. And so he's still in his house clothes, which is basically like a nightgown type outfit, a long, just down to your ankles. And it's in this red and black plaid. And he's got a fuzzy nightcap on.
So kind of like a robe, like a plaid robe. Okay.
Exactly, a plaid robe. So I described that because I was making a Hitchhiker's reference. Little did I know she would be eaten by a bag and end up spending literally a lifetime in this outfit without pants. And the joke, no pants, because all she has is this, basically her nightgown. And which is funny, but also she's a creature who flies. And when you think about that for a second, that's uncomfortable.
That's problematic.
Exactly. So it became this running gag this entire time that, like, she didn't have pants and blah, blah, blah. And then the second time, so she was super happy when they got out of the bag and they went back in time and D&D happened. Don't worry about it. And she got her outfit back. And what she normally wears, that's scale mail, and then she's got like a gamisole under it, which are just like pants and a shirt, basically. So she's super happy to have pants again. The second time she ended up in a bag. So that's why pants are important. And that's why a lot of the flavor text in the pants are about how, getting them to fit her body, because there's not many creatures that look like this out there, and everything has to be altered, and there's usually not a tailor around. The second time she ended up in a bag with a half-elf bard named Harold Hovelton. Harold
Hovelton. Okay, yes. Good name.
Harold is from the show, D4, which I was guest starring on at the time. I'd shown up as a guest, and Orchira had been transported there for reasons, and she had, one of the last things that had happened before she got transported there is Averin had given her a bag of holding, which she was suspicious of, but she had it.
Of course.
And so she met all these wonderful people on the show D4, the BFGs is what they call themselves, and they are another show. They are an adventuring group in Waterdeep.
And that explains why she has BFG written on her accordion here.
I was about to say, we're getting there. So,
it's all tied together.
Harold is not only is he a charismatic bard, but his signature color is purple. And at the end of this guest appearance, as Lauren is like, I'm there for the one show, the bag that Orchira had ate Harold. And then Orchira had to go in after him. And then in the game, Harold popped back out immediately, and I ended up back, and Orchira ends up back with her friends. But for them, they spent 6 years together in this bag in a version of Kryn, which is uncomfy in multiple ways. And so there's this 6-year period of time in where Orchira and Harold basically were surviving together and becoming friends. And,
cool.
And there's an in-game story. So we never have played any of that 6 years. It's just the DMs have told us, like, oh, this happened. And then, of course, Ethan, the guy that plays Harold, and I just, on a regular basis, like, we tweet each other, and it's like, so what if we went and visited this guy who was being tormented by the fashion mafia? Wouldn't this be funny? We just come up with 6 years worth of adventures. One of the DM storylines was that Harold got attacked and almost killed, and in the process his accordion broke, but Orchira saved his life, and so he gave her this chunk of an accordion that he had.
Aww.
And scratched BFGs into it.
Aww.
As like, hey, you're part of the family now.
That's really sweet.
It is. It's super sweet. And so
Wow.
when C&E was just like, what's the important list of items for her to have?
Yeah.
I was like, well, this has to be there. And then the fashion mafia story that I talked about, which comes up in D4 a couple times, that's where they literally saved this guy from the fashion mafia. It's ridiculous.
That's
and
amazing.
so in thanks, he made new outfits for them. So Harold came out of the bag 6 years later with like this whole new outfit. Orchira didn't need a whole new outfit because he wasn't she has armor on, but she asked for new pants and she got them in purple to honor Harold. So that's why. So there you go. It's all tied together.
That's the purple pants. That's the accordion. Yeah. No, we've talked about the resurrection components, the phoenix feather. That just makes sense.
Yep.
We've talked about the holy symbol. God, that's got to be one of the prettiest pieces of equipment in the game so far.
Yeah.
I love that design. That is a beautiful, stylized phoenix.
It's gorgeous. And if you
yeah.
go into and that piece of art is based on Orchira in D&D is based on a piece of art that was,
Really?
Yeah.
I was going to ask about that. Like, how did you even come up with this character? Okay, go ahead, please.
No, it's okay. I'm trying to pull up.
I'm so excited.
Trying to pull up the art here. So, before, because the Phoenix appears in Mordenkainen's Tome of Foes, I want to say it is. I might be getting that wrong because
anybody in chat help us out?
Yeah,
here?
the actual it's a monster in D&D, but that character shows up, or that monster shows up, I believe, in Tome of Foes. Before the game came out, there was one of the artists put up art of the Elder Elementals of like, hey, look at some of this art. Here's a prototype of some of these characters and some of these monsters that have come out. I'm sorry, I'm like desperately trying to pull up the art here.
No worries.
I don't remember where I put it.
It's okay.
And so one of those things was the original drawing of the Phoenix, which doesn't really look like the Phoenix that's now in the D&D book, in the official book, but it was such an evocative, amazing piece of art that I'm like, I have to do something that has something to do with this character or with this art because it was gorgeous. And
so this is like a really niche reference to this, like the concept art of Phoenix and not the art that was actually published.
Oh yeah. Okay, here we go.
That's really cool.
So Sean Wood was the original artist.
Okay.
And I'm going to do something fun here. And I'll add it as my background for a second.
Fun.
Now that I've found it. If you look up Sean Wood, they're the one that posted the original art. And it's in here. And it's that. Oh, this is not framed correctly.
Whoa.
But you can kind of see, like, it's very sketchy. It's very...
oh, man. Okay. So
here, I'll have to just share it with you or something. But anyways, if you look it up on Twitter,
I can definitely see the resemblance here.
Yeah, it's this gorgeous piece of art. And so
nice. It's very pretty.
I saw this and I was like, I just love this concept sketch. I have to do something with it. And so that's how Orchira had her backstory related to the Phoenix. So as this has gone forward, that original stylized drawing of the Phoenix someone's trying to post it in chat and I feel bad. Phantasmic, go ahead and whisper that to me and I'll go ahead and post it in chat.
Yeah, sorry about not being able to post links.
No, that's
for
fine.
safety's
I'm glad
sake.
someone was able to find it. So that's when I talk about her holy symbol is this book that has the embossed Phoenix on it, it's that art. It's not like
That is so
it's
good.
not the art out of Mordenkainen's, it's the concept art. And they took that and ran with it.
That's so good. This is the stuff I love to hear about. Okay, so character creation is an art form.
Yeah.
It is the seed of creativity blooming out of someone's brain into like the shared creative space of Dungeons and Dragons. So I love hearing about like how a character was born. Like, how did Orchira come to exist in your mind's eye? And it was from also art. Art created art for you, and that's a beautiful thing. That's a very beautiful thing.
And Todd Kenrick gets a ton of credit as well, because like a lot of my backstory stuff was really just like, oh, this thing happened and that's it. And they were the one that took that and ran with it as oh yeah, so here's the tweet. Thank you for sending that to me. I'll just go ahead and put that in chat. So if you go to that, you'll see the original tweet that Sean Wood put up. This was May 18th, 2018.
I'm doing it.
And it's the original concept sketches from Mordenkainen Tome of Foes for the Elder Elemental, and it includes all 4 of them, but specifically includes this art of the Phoenix. And it was so evocative. And I had just very basic stuff, and like as I said, Orchira started as a cleric of Paylor. She started as a light cleric.
That's
and then
cool. That's really
Todd
good.
took this whole thing and ran with it, and a lot of the lore that is now canon for the Phoenix being a deity for Orchira is just like homebrew that the 2 of us worked on, that they created, that I've been discovering in game. So it's been really amazing. So yeah, I just posted the link in chat. Thank you for finding it, everybody. I appreciate it.
Her ultimate's coming up in like 2 seconds. Oh, there we go. Goodbye, Wraith. Scorched earth. Goodbye.
I hope
This
it's
forest
actually
is
effective.
gone.
So wait, go back into her equipment because there's a couple other things that.
Okay. I'm having so much fun with this. Okay,
I know,
what
I
do you
am
want to talk about?
too. Yeah, go back into her equipment and into her all the versions of her equipment, because some of it.
Oh
is,
yeah.
Yeah, like especially her personal items.
Okay. Yeah, so we've got Phoenix Writings. There's the Pants That Fit. It's just a great name for a piece of equipment.
Pants that fit.
Tasty
Yeah, she still can't
burn
get over
paste.
that, like, she has pants that fit. So if you go the other 2 things that are for Harold's accordion, like that
Decision
whole slot is
Pebbles. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Okay.
I think this is the one. It might be the
Letters from Alindra and Decision
There's the
Pebbles.
Letters from Alindra, yeah. So there was a in-game 5-year gap between Chapter 1 and Chapter 2 of Heroes of the Veil, and of many of the things that we just talked about. What did your characters do over these 5 years? Orchira and Alindra sent each other letters, and that this bundle of letters has become a really important thing to her. And then 2 different times in games, Penelope has given Orchira a pebble, which seems like just a pebble, but they're like important to Penelope, so they're important to Orchira. So you got Penelope's pebbles, and the one of them she pulls out one and will use it as a worry stone sometimes.
Yeah,
so that's why
I was seeing the indention on it, and I was thinking, like, is this a worry stone? It looks like yeah.
They started as just regular pebbles. And then this I didn't come up with, but that the Phoenix feather, the picture of it is canonically drawn by Penelope.
Oh, Penelope's feather art. Oh, precious. Oh, this is precious truth.
So now there's 2 bits of Penelope art in the game.
This is so cute.
Right?
I love that.
So yeah,
Oh,
I love everything that they did with the equipment. It makes me so happy, and all of the references that we were able to make. A lot of this was already there when they sent me the stuff, and they said, "Well, what do you think?" A lot of this was already there, and I made like a couple little tweaks, and yeah.
I
Oh,
love that all of them have a story behind it. That's how it should be. That's so great.
Yeah, I mean, even the stuff that like I never would have thought about the Phoenix Feather as an actual item, but it totally makes sense. And yeah, it's amazing. And Jason is asking in chat, wait a minute, is the returning hero of the Veil and Idol Champions one of your group? No. when that skeleton showed up in game and I was in Heroes of the Veil, it was certainly one of those, wait a moment.
Do I know this guy?
What's going on here? So I mean, at this point, we're Heroes of the Plains, but yeah, that'll be an interesting moment when me and my crew roll up on that giant skeleton. And then you wanted to look at feats.
Yes,
Sorry,
I did. I always want to read through the feats. So just the default feats, just getting them out of the way. So Selflessness. This is ye old I am a support character feat. All the support characters have this, so okay. Flavor text, I'm just here to help. That's nice, simple. Spark of Renewal. So this is the first unique one. So this is to healing with her being a healing champion. Increase the effect of Orchira's lesser restoration ability by 20%. Here you go. You'll be up and about in no time. Okay. And now, okay, so she has 2 gold chest feats, and she has 2 gem feats. So let's go ahead and grab her gem feats.
Aww.
I always save up gems for this. I have enough. And let's just get the rest of her feats and probably Rhea's as well. Go!
Let's get all the feats!
Okay, 1. Well, we got 1. Obsessed with Flames feat. Okay, so we'll take a look at that in a second. Let's open up the next set of 50 golds here. Hopefully get the rest of these feats. Hopefully. If I have to, I'll buy some more chests. Nope, we're good. Okay, great. So that just takes care of getting all of Orchira's and all of Rhea's feats. I'll be talking about her later. But where's my Orchira? There she is. Okay, so now we can actually take a look at everything. So she's got Inspiring Leader. This is just the upgrade for I'm a support, and this is my feat to prove it. I'll stand with you if you'll stand by me. Stand by me. Emergency Heals. Okay, so this is the upgrade to Spark of Renewal. Lesser Restoration increased by 40%. Stay with me. Obsessed with Flames and Flames of Rebirth. Now, these are the ones that are really interesting to me. Obsessed with Flames, Elemental Fire ability 40% up. Have you ever just watched fire? It's mesmerizing. Yes, I have. I used to meditate back in college when I first got into it. I used to do flame meditation where I would just stare at a candle flame and with a mirror behind that, and eventually just reality fades away, and it was crazy. Anyway, yes, flame is mesmerizing to watch.
I love that.
Flames of Rebirth.
Yeah, I love the title of that feat was actually not one that I came up with.
Yeah.
But it makes a lot of sense. So Orchira's flaw is I am entranced by fire, awed by its beauty and power, even when it's causing harm.
Wow.
So, yeah. She's very well aware about how...
Obsessed with Flames, very appropriate.
Yeah. And then I'm sorry.
Whether for good or for ill. No, you're fine.
Yep.
And then we have Flames of Rebirth, increase the effect of Orchira's healing flame ability by 25%. Okay. And so that's the one that's by orders of magnitude. Yeah, this is the one that I don't understand yet, and I just assume is going to be very strong. Increase the effect of elemental fire.
We just need to go to the Discord and wait for the people who do all of the hardcore math to be like, do this, and this.
Sai, please, somebody.
Help.
Venomous, Cleo, Ridge, somebody explain this to me, please. Thank you.
Somebody math for us, thank you.
I'm going to go ahead and just put both of these on, because these seem like the best to me. Okay, so now we got Flames of Rebirth and Obsessed with Flames both turned on. Alright, let's take a look at what her numbers are looking like for me right now. Oh, wow. So this is an EO 9% additional damage from Elemental Fire right now, per stack, stacking up to 10 times. So that'd be an E10 damage increase. I mean, that is certainly not bad at all. And I love that ultimate. Okay, and Lesser Restoration is doing just under 8,000 health per second right now. Good.
I keep everybody alive.
Healing Flame is currently doing... Let's see. Increase the effective elemental fire boundaries for each order of magnitude. Okay. So effective healing done has been... Okay, that's ticking up. 5.47 EO5. Currently 5 multiplicative stacks. Total bonus is an EO 5%. Okay. Of course, we still have Tailfeather the Phoenix. Right, so that's just going to heal champions, period. Even if they don't need healing. And then we still have Self-Sacrifice. We haven't actually seen Self-Sacrifice. I should try to set that up.
Yeah, you're probably going to have to maneuver to make that happen.
Yep. I'm going to want to basically, like, take everybody out except Orchira and, like, one other person.
Yeah.
And...
Probably not a tank or else it'll take forever.
I'll do a tank, but I just won't level them. This way we'll get to see, like, the Overwhelm double. So, Gromma's Overwhelm right now is 20, and... Oh! Orchira just swapped. And her Overwhelm was set to 20. And it instantly died, so... Not the best example, no. But it did technically happen. Oh, interesting. And then they didn't swap back. Oh, there we go. Oh, well,
No, they get...
Hey, I got the achievement!
That's part of the power, is that when the swap happens, they're both Orchira and whoever she swaps with is quote-unquote stuck there for, I think, 10 seconds? Yeah. So you can't just swap, like, it won't proc and then you can immediately swap her back. She has to stay there and tank for a little bit, which is, as we're seeing here, not necessarily the best thing.
It's not necessarily the best, but it is a hype moment. Yeah, I really love those clutch moments in D&D when they happen. So, yeah, this wasn't the best example of it happening in the game, I'll admit. But it was certainly entertaining, and it looks like I was able to get the achievement, despite that doesn't seem like I was supposed to get it, because she definitely didn't survive the full duration. She instantly died, and yet I still got the achievement for her, so that might be bugged right now. Sean?
I mean, I guess if it's going to be bugged, it might as well be bugged in the...
it might as well.
Yeah, in the player's benefit, so...
Oh my gosh.
I want to point out one more thing about her that amuses me, and then I'll ask if there's any questions, then I'll get out of the way so you can talk about Rhea, because I've already been here a while, and I feel bad about, like, monopolizing everything.
Don't feel bad. No, I've loved every second of this. Please,
I have too, but I feel like I have taken over your show. You might have to move Dritz.
Sure.
Watch her walk. This is something the artists and the devs did that is amazing to me. The level of detail on her walk is...
You always need to, like, get to a place where they're actually walking.
Yeah, come on, everybody, walk. So, and part of this, it's very subtle. It's not like Penelope. When you watch Penelope, she's just skipping along, which is 100% Penelope.
Oh, here we
go.
But,
like, the level of detail in her feet.
Oh, yeah, you can actually, like, see her toes, like, lifting up.
Right?
And going back down. Like, that's very subtle. I don't think I would have noticed that if you hadn't mentioned it. They put so much attention to detail into everything.
Yeah.
We don't
when they sent me that initial animation and it showed her talons, like, actually,
Wow.
I love it so much. It's so amazing. So yes, that was it. That was the only thing I wanted to say. Cassius wants to know what is it with me and cheese. I mean, cheese is funny. Also, cheese is delicious. Also, I've been avoiding cheese because I am a 43-year-old woman, and so my face doesn't like cheese anymore. Just sad, because cheese is delicious.
Cheese is delicious. You know, my Fistful of Death was originally inspired by cheese. Mm-hmm. But I don't think I really highlighted that as much as I had wanted to. But it is initially an entire adventure inspired by the fact that there are multiple types of cheese canonical to the Forgotten Realms.
That was a fun adventure. I loved watching that D&D game.
Thank you. I enjoyed it.
I've run my own one shot that is inspired by cheese, although not by Forgotten Realms cheese. So.
I wanted to ask because this is something you mentioned in your talk with Todd in the video that's up on the Coding Entertainment YouTube, that you had a hard time paring down all of the items to pick out just like 6 to be represented. But what I wanted to ask is, if you had a 7th slot, what would you put in it for Orchira?
All right, hold on. Let me pull up her equipment because that was hard.
I bet.
That's super hard.
Having to funnel down 2.5 years of adventuring and multiple years in fiction of her being alive down to just like 6 iconic items must have been difficult.
Well, and in a way, I didn't. I sent a list of what she currently had access to in a vague order of importance. And so then the only things that I insisted on were a couple of the things that are named items of, like, you know, Harold's accordion and Alindra's letters and stuff like that are like things that if Orchira lost them, she would be as upset as if she lost a friend. So they got the important bits. She had, I think I mentioned, she had a collapsible 10-foot pole that she lost
for roasting marshmallows.
Yeah, for roasting marshmallows, which was her first. It's technically a magic item. It's a common magic item. But it is technically a magic item. It's awesome. I mean, it needs to be a magic item because you're roasting marshmallows over lava, and so you need to have a magic item. She unfortunately lost it. She died and it got taken. So don't worry about it. And it was it sucked. There's a whole storyline attached to that item, to a character it's all kind of backstory stuff. And so she didn't have it, so I didn't include it in the items because she hasn't had it in a very long time. And recently on D4, she's told the story of that item, and Seisha, one of the characters in the game, gave her collapsible 10-foot pole, so she has it again. So
that's so nice. You have so many tales of friendship and gifting.
That's 100% Orchira. Like, everything about her is like
wholesome.
It's all of family and friendship and all of that related. So in a way, I'd say the collapsible 10-foot pole, but with the new story. Let's see, what else does she have that she would have had at the time? I've got the pebbles. So if Penelope hadn't done it first, she has Penelope's drawing of Penelope and Orchira in the field. Oh,
you're actually the keeper of it.
I'm the keeper of that. She sent that to me.
So she stole it back from you for Idle Champions then. Got it.
No, I'm not going to say stole.
That little thief.
But like literally that was on my list, and then Penelope got put into the game, and Hope was like, so guess what?
Sorry, not sorry.
But like Lauren in real life and Orchira in game own that drawing that she has. I've got a small. That would have been interesting to put in. The team actually was talking about this. So Vinley from D4 gave Orchira. It's a small plushie of a beholder, a purple beholder. Cute. And no matter which way you look at it, the eyes kind of follow you. And it's just this little plushy beholder.
That's a nice touch.
She's got a commemorative Ugma pen from Alindra. But I didn't want 2 different items of Alindra in the game because I only had so many.
That's clearly favoritism. Yeah.
She had a couple of things that she was holding on to them as gifts for other people that are important to her. She had for a brief amount of time a magic item, which was a homebrew one that Todd made, which was a flaming shalm. It was a magic item. Cool. It was a magic musical instrument, and it could cast a whole bunch of fire spells. It was basically like one of the instruments of the bards, except low-level fire spells instead of fly. And it was a sham because me. The joke became Orchira intentionally is not musical at all. She doesn't sing. She likes singing and she likes music, but she is not a bard. She's not 100% a bard. That's one of the reasons she likes Harold. Is she loves listening to him perform. So the joke became she had this musical. Exactly. She had this musical sham that all the description of it was you just have to play it in order to activate the music, but you don't have to play it well. And so she would pull out this instrument and make it do duck noises, essentially. And then
you just have to try.
You just gotta Make it make noise. So yeah, it would probably have been the sham or been the collapsible 10-foot pole, one of those two.
That's beautiful. Hey, if Orchira was playing Idle Champions, what characters do you think that she would gravitate toward?
Oh, I'm gonna have everybody from the Heroes of the Plains in there, absolutely. I mean, I gotta keep an eye on everybody. Have you tried to follow freely anywhere? He's so fast. He is so... He went through like 4 portals yesterday before I even knew they were there.
Talks fast, moves fast, acts fast, yep.
I love him. He's my brother. He's amazing, but the Phoenix.
It's got to be a handful to deal with.
It's the worst. He's the worst. He's the best. He's the worst.
So you'd be keeping the Heroes of the Plains nearby, basically to keep tabs on them, to make sure they're not getting into trouble. Got it.
I mean, that's my job.
That's your job.
That is literally my job.
Besides them, that's a good question.
Yeah, who do you think Orchira would get along with from the other champions?
I mean, I think she'd get along with everybody because she
seems like the type.
She's kind of a congenial, like she's managed to get along with necromancers and she hates undead. She'd probably want to speak to Dinar because Dinar has a tail, and that fast that she would immediately be like, "Oh, did you get poked by a Cybernex too?"
There, definitely.
Yeah, so she'd want to talk to Dinar. You know who she wouldn't get along with? Arkan.
Oh yeah, because evil Dragonborn.
Because
very destructive.
Because Tiamat, really.
Oh yeah.
Tiamat is the problem. Like as soon as the two of them
Tiamat
butted,
is a problem.
Tiamat is a problem. Tiamat is a giant. And Orchira comes from. Yeah, Orchira comes from the Dragonborn history. She's got kind of a mixed history of Nintir Vale and 5th edition and 4th edition lore. She comes from the line of Dragonborn that were created on a bier by dragons. And so she's the Dragonborn that hates dragons. She's the one that got told stories by her grandparents about how awful all dragons are. And so the queen of evil dragons is like the worst.
That's a deal breaker.
Yeah.
For sure.
And so she'd be like, "Oh, hi." And then immediately he would try to preach to her about Tiamat, and they would have to fight.
Then I wonder, like, if she would get along with Turiel for basically, like, the opposite reason. Like, Turiel's devoted to Bahamut, who's, like, the enemy of Tiamat, the good dragon god. She'd
get along with Turiel because Turiel is just is a nice person. Yeah. The Bahamut thing, she would roll her eyes at. But at least Bahamut is like is trying to be good. Orchira's always suspicious of any dragon. She's been taught that dragons are just self-centered and they are egotistical. Even the ones that say that they're good, they all lord their power over everybody. So she's suspicious, but she at least understands that most people believe that Bahamut is a good dragon.
I'd say that definitely stands to reason. As far as dragons have been represented in Idle Champions so far, they've all been like that, even the good ones. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and that's just
it's
in
very
D&D.
heavy-handed.
That's why when she was getting forcefully turned into a dragon, that's one of the reasons she didn't want to. And part of it was her upbringing was dragons suck, but also like because dragons. There's this moment in the show in where Briv is yelling at her. Dragons are some of the most powerful, some of the most feared creatures in the multiverse. Why don't you want to turn into one? And she's like, because they're one of the most feared in the universe. I don't want to be the creature that no matter what I do, everyone is afraid of. Because dragons are intimidating. So yeah. Arkan would be the one. Everybody else she'd get along with everybody.
It's nice that they are as far apart on the bench as possible then, from slot 1 to slot 12. Like, I don't think they're going to be seeing a lot of each other.
That's true. That is super true. I'm just like mentally going through, but everybody
speaking
else.
Of the dragon, there's one right there.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, she's going to enjoy. Yes, get destroy.
Excellent.
Yep. Yeah, when Alindra got that baby blue dragon, Grant, there was a lot of grumbling from Orchira. There's just like,
well, I guess if there's anyone that can raise a dragon to not be an asshole, it's you. All right, fine.
Speaking of which, let me set that up.
Would Orchira even like Warden, a literal death machine? Yeah. It's not about who you are or what you are. It's what you do.
It's what you do.
At least in Orchira's mind, and she literally does not judge. I mean, before she got transformed, she didn't judge by looks, and then after that has become like cemented in her mind that you cannot look at a person and judge who or what they are, and even if they are, she kills people. Like, she doesn't want to. Yeah. But she will. She'll defend herself. She'll defend her friends. Yeah, she tries not to, but she does not feel bad if she feels like it was an appropriate response to things. If the person that she is attacking innocent people, if she's stopping something bad from happening, if she's defending herself or her friends, she will. She's chaotic good. She's not goody two shoes. So just because some of the characters on this roster are, as you would say, literal death machines. As long as the death is happening to creatures that deserve it, to put it in a harsh way, then she'd get along with Warden fine. Also, Warden is awesome, and they're one of my favorite.
Is a very cool character.
Yeah, they're one of my favorite DPS. So
this feels like it ties in a lot with what you were saying about the Phoenix as well. Like lore-wise, being the Phoenix is a neutral entity, and it's not. Like it's the idea of identity versus like action, like what you do with it. Like the Phoenix could be used for destructive purposes, but the Phoenix could be used for creative purposes as well. And that feels like that ties into what you were just talking about like how Orchira judges other people. Like that it's what they do.
And that came up. That was something Todd kind of created as part of the lore. Was that the idea that the Phoenix needs Orchira as much as she needs the Phoenix, because the Phoenix is just like not dispassionate, but just completely neutral and does anything that is destruction or creation is equal in the Phoenix's mind. And so Orchira is kind of the conscience of this god, because if it was an evil cleric summoning the Phoenix for evil, the Phoenix would just show up and destroy things and be fine with it. So Orchira has been has explained like, no, we shouldn't just destroy everything. No, sometimes the destruction is a bad idea. Sometimes the destruction should only be here. Sometimes the healing is more important. There's been a lot more of the guidance kind of thing, and so that's been an interesting relation. Orchira has always had a very interesting relationship with any of the gods that she's interacted with, but the Phoenix in general. Like, the Phoenix is her friend. And
friends of the god. Friends of the primordial entity.
Yeah. Well, she's always seen
no pressure.
no pressure. But she doesn't see that as like a pressure situation. The Phoenix and Pelor before them, they were her friends. Just happened to be gods. That's how she views it. So when she prays, the prayers are, "Hey, how's it going? Yeah, all right. I could really use let's go with this spell and this spell. Is there any way that like she's prayed and been like, is there anything I can get for you? Oh, you need some bubble gum? Okay, I'll see if I can get some bubble gum." Like,
that's wonderful. It's a two-way street. That's great.
Yeah. The important thing to her is the friendship, is and what the Phoenix is a constant presence. Orchira is never alone because she always has the Phoenix, and that's the important bit. She could lose all of her power. She could be completely powerless, but as long as the Phoenix was still there and a supportive feeling, she'd be happy. That's what she values. So, again, people are talking about what happened in the game last night, which was Todd put Orchira in a room full of wood and then pissed her off.
Oh, okay. So he armed the bomb and then detonated it.
I mean, I say that
Okay.
I say that, and it's not like Todd did that, but that's what happened. Is Orchira ended up in a room full of wood, and got super unhappy. Remember how I said that like her instinct is heal, 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 sport, 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 heal, heal, heal until she reaches a line, and then it's destroy everything with fire.
I've had enough.
She kind of got to that line last night and started just, hey, the world tree can burn, right?
Oh no!
She tried to set the world tree on fire.
Oh boy. I guess spoilers if anybody cares. Yikes.
Yeah, it was a moment.
Well, good luck with those consequences, I'm sure, that are going to happen.
There was a well nearby. She only did a little bit of damage. It was fine. That's the other thing to remember about Orchira, and it's part of her low intelligence, but it's also the fact that she's not a religious person. Her religion is a negative. She's not studied religion. She doesn't necessarily know a lot. Like her knowledge of gods is very, the Phoenix told me about this guy. So she doesn't know what the world tree is. She has no idea about like that kind of mythology. All she knew was that her friends were all right, wood, it's pretty. Oh, Penelope will probably be sad, but I need to protect my friends. And this is wood, and I am a creature of fire.
Sometimes you have to burn the world tree.
Yeah, it was an interesting...
To make an omelet, you gotta crack a few eggs.
Yeah.
Sometimes you gotta burn down the biggest, most important tree in existence.
I mean, she didn't burn it down. She just scorched it a little because, as I said, there was convenient well water nearby, which I guess makes sense if you're gonna, So yeah. Any other questions before I feel like I've just
I think I'm set, and that's not a problem in my eyes. I have loved this. I've been wanting to have a guest on Guiding Hand for months. It's funny. The first time I ever talked to C&E about it, this was like way back last year. I was like, hey, how'd you feel if I had a guest? And the person I had in mind was Trevor Bettis, who ended up having shows on the Idle Champions network himself. So like, oh, well, okay. That's a fun coincidence. So I guess he would have been fine to have on as a guest. But I'm so glad that I ended up, charging up my attack for someone like yourself. You are such a ray of light and positivity in not just the Idle Champions community, but like the D&D community at large. So it is my honor and privilege to host you as my first guest on your birthday, no less, for the debut of your character in this game that we both love. So,
thank you for having me.
Lauren.
No, this has been amazing, and I was super happy. Like when I was trying to decide what to do, and I saw that you were going to be streaming on the day that this character came out, I was just like, I wonder if Mars will let me crash his stream.
Anytime. And
this has been absolutely amazing. And so now I'm going to ask the awful question, which is, if I leave, am I going to mess up your overlay?
Definitely. Do it anyway. I'll figure it out.
Do you want me to just stick around and we'll talk about Rhea for a while?
That'd be cool.
Okay.
Yeah, let's do. That would be great. Otherwise, I'd probably flounder for a couple minutes while I figured out how to change overlays again.
yeah. And I mean, if some other Orchira stuff comes up, we can talk about it. But this way, you can get in some Rhea, and you don't have to worry. Because I realize that I'm like, if I leave, I'm just gonna break everything, aren't I? Oh.
So I didn't get to talk about Rhea last week when everything was happening. But I did unlock Rhea. Yeah. I couldn't possibly fit it all into my 2-hour block, so I unlocked Rhea in my free time, and I want to just kind of go through everything, and then, I've been saving up, at this point, 11,327 silver chests to go shiny hunting one more time. So, Rhea, lawful good, human celestial, paladin, support character, 18 strength, 12 dexterity, 14 con, 13 intelligence, 11 wisdom, 20 charisma. So I believe she's good for all patrons? So that's exciting. And it makes sense, especially for, being valuable for Zereal, because she kind of is Zereal in a way. Like, she's like an avatar of Zereal at this point. Born in the land of Termish, Rhea came to the holy city of Elturel to train as a Hellrider when she was 12. As a faithful follower of Torm, Rhea trained to sacrifice herself for the greater good. That preparation led to her taking Zereal's sword and joining the Champions after rescuing the city of Elturel from Avernus. Spoilers if you haven't finished the Baldur's Gate Descent into Avernus adaptation in Idle Champions, but you fight Tiamat, and also Rhea becomes a Celestial, and you redeem Zereal, and it's like the best, most awesome, most happy ending that you can get. I love it. It's the exact ending that I hoped for, and I didn't think we would actually get. So I'm very happy about it.
And it's hard to get in the D&D version of the game.
It is.
It's super hard.
Go read the module if you haven't, people in chat, because it's actually really cool how that's handled. Okay, so the way she works, she has Searing Radiance. Radiant views adjacent champions with their Searing Radiance, causing her attacks to deal 10% more damage for me right now, looks like. And this effect is doubled against fiends. Okay.
Makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. Cool. Echoes of Zereal. This is the interesting thing about her. The gaze of Zereal turns from Rhea and sweeps across the formation, looking at a random number of unique champions before returning to Rhea. Once it returns to Rhea, it increases the effect of Searing Radiance by 100% for each champion it looked at, including Rhea, stacking multiplicatively. You know, anything that stacks multiplicatively is going to be just juicy to bite into for idle champions, like mechanics-wise. People are going to try to optimize with that. Yeah. Yeah, no big deal. Just definitely pay attention to Orchira over here. Oh, there's that ultimate again. Oh my god, that's so cool. That's one of the flashiest ultimates in the game, and I'm here for it. Okay.
I feel
Celestial
so blessed.
Champion. All lawful good aligned champions' damage is increased by... Okay, well that's not a very high percentage, but you know, every little bit helps, I suppose. I don't think we have like a large number of lawful good DPS champions. Just a few, I think. And then she's got her specialization where you choose between champions of good or champions of law. Echoes of Zereal is guaranteed to look at all good or law aligned champions, depending on which specialization you take in the formation before returning to Rhea. So if you like go like really hardcore, like devoted, like all good or all lawful, then you're going to get the most bang for your buck there.
I seem to remember, and I'll have to look again, but I seem to remember Dylan saying that there are not, at least as far as D&D characters that get brought into the game, there are not a lot of lawful good, and there are not a lot of evil. And that's why it's been hard to have like those extremes that and unfortunately Orchira fits this mold. She is also chaotic good. There's a lot of chaotic good characters.
There's a heck of a lot of chaotic goods.
Yeah, it kind of
very popular alignment.
It's super popular for those of us who want to do good but not be bound by the laws. We are, or bound by our own code or whatever. So yeah.
That used to be what I did all the time. I was always just chaotic good, but it's not so much anymore. Alright, so let's take a look at her feats, because we did also get all of her feats. So she's got her default I'm a support feat, Selfless. Then we've got Searing Confidence, increasing her Searing Radiance ability by 20%. Always Watchful, increasing her Echoes of Zereal ability by 20%. Okay. And then we have Angelic Radiance, which we got from Chests, Searing Radiance 40%, and Zereal's Gaze, Echoes of Zereal 40%. Okay, so those are definitely better then, so I'm going to want these. But then let's see what her gem feats are. Inspiring Leader, increase damage of all champions 25%. Well, I'm going to pick it up, but I'm not going to put it on, because I'm always more interested in formation ability feats. Those are just, like, 9 times out of 10, those are always better than just flat DPS increases. And then Elterguard's Paladin increases the pre-stack bonus of Echoes of Zereal by 40%. Okay, so this is another math feat. This is a math thing that I'm not going to be great at understanding. Help!
Math people!
Help! I am just going to go ahead and unlock it, though. Okay, so now we have everything.
I'm just going to ask the people in the Discord. So I'm just going to be like, hey,
Same.
what, yeah. I joked with Garwar for the longest time. I was just like, Garwar, when eventually Orchira comes into the game, I'm just going to ask you to do all the math, and I'm going to ask you to tell me what to tell everybody, because I'm not going to know. I love this game. I've been playing it for years. I'm not that math person. Likewise.
I used to be when I was younger, but I don't know, like going into like adulthood, I just math skills went way down.
My math skills are okay,
that's why we have other people.
Yes. That is why bless the math people, for they shall inherit all of the stocks. I don't know how that works. Never mind. Go back to Rhea.
Yeah, let's open up some chests. I'm gonna go. Oh wait, there's that ultimate again. Gorgeous. Yeah, and she just flies back in. The Phoenix art that's just on the screen while the fire rain is coming down is beautiful.
And that's once again based on that initial art for the Phoenix. So
it really stands out. Okay, let's see. Let's see how the shiny hunt goes. All right, so last time I did this was back in December for finishing up all of my remaining shinies. I had like 10 to go for all of my evergreens, and I just did them all in one shot. But this is also kind of nice that I have you here, because you're sort of my witness here that Sini doesn't actually like press a button or pull a lever to engage streamer luck.
Nope.
It really just happens.
Nope. The only thing was that yes, we did gift unto you all those Orchira chests, but that was true. But that is if that's just a normal thing that we do for, like if I was just doing the stream.
Yeah.
I, as the content creator, because, you want to be able in an hour to show off a lot of her stuff. And so, we just make that kind of easy. But other than that, no. I mean, I don't even do that for myself.
Talk about all of her equipment.
Exactly. And same for Rhea. And like, this is half the fun, in my opinion, is that moment in where, and not just like you're looking for a specific piece of gear, but that moment where you open up a silver chest and there's a shiny in there. And it's like, ah! What happened?
It is always a great moment. It's just the hype is always there. Even if I play it off kind of cool, like, oh yeah, I got a shiny, like, oh, no big deal. Inside I'm like, yeah!
I love you dearly. When do you play something off as cool?
Often. I wear my heart on my sleeve. I can't pretend. I can't hide my emotions. I have never been good at that. Anyone who knows me well, they would back me up on that. I cannot hide how I feel about something. It is just always front and center every time.
And that is why you're awesome, and that's one of the reasons that you're awesome on this show, and that I knew unlocking Orchira with you was going to be fun.
She's so cool.
Thank you.
What?
Her wings are going to get in the way. We're going to have to put together a wing squad of like her and Rhea and Deacon with... Well, we can't do Deacon because Orchira's going to be there.
Yeah.
I want Deacon so bad! And Ashara and... who else has wings? Why am I forgetting all the winged people?
I
mean, there's
Evelyn's feet has wings.
Evelyn's feet, that counts. Totally counts. 100% counts.
I feel like
all the celestial versions of all the characters have wings.
Oh yeah, for sure. All those skins are so good.
Quillic has wings. Lucius has wings. Yep. Ariza.
Oh,
we're not putting Arkin. No, we're just gonna ignore Arkin.
Frida, when she activates her ultimate.
Yeah, Frida.
My
absolutely.
favorite champion.
Quillic, yes, has a wing, but like one, that's fine. I'm not counting wings. If we're counting boot wings, I'm counting single wing. I know there's more. Why am I?
There's so many.
Blanking on.
No one blames you for not being able to remember. There's like 79 characters in this game, and just more coming. It is impossible to keep up with it all at this point. That's why, by the way, there's an update to the Champions visual aid and the Patrons visual aid. !CVA and !PVA in chat to get links for those. Those are updated up to and including Orchira now. I did that ahead of time so that would already be available today. Hopefully that's all accurate. Some people have already pointed out some things that I need to adjust for the next update. But yeah, hopefully the CVA and PVA will be useful for people. I see some people getting links for that in the chat now. Good. Hope that continues to be helpful for some folks. Always hear nice things about it. People seem to enjoy that. The Gems visual aid still needs updating. Probably gotta work on that sometime. Get with Gar about that since that's collaborative.
Hey, listen, one update at a time, okay?
One update at a time. Yes, thank you, Orchira.
I'm here to help. Okay, all right, I'm gonna go back to roasting marshmallows.
Oh boy.
This is why it's useful to have 3 cups of tea. So if I need to like drop into Orchira voice for you at any time, then I'm ready.
Oh yeah, actually, it's funny. So I've been working on like a little personal. I've actually been working on a project that I was going to announce today and going to start on tomorrow. Yeah. and so I guess this is that, which is completely coincidental, like unrelated to the fact that I had you on as like a guest today, and like basically did kind of interview. There's a shiny, finally.
Hey, shiny.
It's for Rhea. Okay, good. So that's 1. 5 to go. Excellent. On my own channel, on my own channel over at the Storyteller Mars Twitch channel, I am gonna start doing a show that I'm calling Homebrew, which is a D&D tea party, where I'm doing interviews with D&D characters while also being in character over tea. I've got my first guest already lined up for it. We're gonna do it tomorrow night.
Wow.
So exciting. Yeah.
Nice.
Just a buddy of mine, so that we can knock out any weirdness, any problems that we might run into. But yeah, it's really cool. So I felt like I got a little preview of that when you were talking as Orchira about the other characters in Idle Champions. It was like a vision of the future. Like, whoa, this is what it's gonna be like.
Except for an entire hour, you're gonna be stuck with me.
Yeah.
Yeah, dropping into Orchira every once in a while has also been fun. I was joking with
on your voice though.
Only when it's a long time and I'm not warmed up. I talked about this a bit last week on Idle Insights because someone was asking about that voice, and it's vocal fry. Don't do a voice that hurts you. If it hurts, don't do it. That's my advice.
I will echo this. I have done that for a year.
I did a voice that sounds like this!
An evil talking amulet.
Yeah.
And everyone loved it, and my body hated it.
Yeah.
Don't do
and in short bits, that can be fine. And I would not, I haven't warmed up Orchira. I do about 5 minutes worth of vocal warm-ups and a couple things just to loosen everything up, because vocal fry can be difficult if you're not ready for it, and it can hurt.
Yeah, it's a real threat.
But if you do, it doesn't take a lot. It just takes a little bit of warming up and then just having a bunch of liquid nearby, and knowing that if, it helps that I play in games that have 4 or 5 other players in it. And so on
you
the
don't have to
rare
talk the entire time.
Exactly. I'm not even talking in character the entire time. And there's been once or twice in where my voice has gotten tired and I can just be quiet. I can just, all right, I'm going to sit back a little bit more and be quiet. So definitely never do anything that hurts your voice. But yeah, it's fun to drop into that voice every once in a while, but I do have to be careful because too much, and I mean, first off, too much, and I will get tired and it will start to hurt if I haven't warmed up. But also, I was joking with Todd. I'm like,
yeah,
people are going to be sick of me and my character in 2 weeks.
No.
I gotta be, too much of a good thing. I'm gonna be sick of myself. I'm already sick of myself.
That I can understand.
Too much of me. Can you just go talk to Freely some more? Or Penelope, if you can get Penelope to talk. Yeah. Either of them are fun to talk to. Or Briv, although Briv just wants to talk about being heroic. Alindra's super fun to talk to. I don't understand half the stuff she talks about all the time, but it's always fun to listen. Yeah. And then there's Avron, but he's just gonna lie to you. Don't accept any bags from Avron.
Now, you can listen to him, just don't believe him.
Yeah, yes, he's an excellent friend, but not someone you should trust. Never trust him.
It takes a strong connection to know, okay, this is someone that you just can't trust. Great to be around, just don't trust them. And yet still be friends with them.
Sometimes you just end up friends with people and you're not exactly sure why, but now they're family. and so even though every once in a while they, want to talk about how liches are actually okay and they trick you into doing stuff, but they're tricking you into doing stuff and it's actually good for the universe, so you can't really be too mad at them. That's Avron. And also
that's Avron in a nutshell.
Yeah, and then there's Sophia's, who's just the nicest person on the planet and cooked me all sorts of stuff and has just endless supplies of butter. I don't know where she puts it all, but yeah.
That'll match with your, marshmallows. Well, we got the second shiny, so,
Oh man, the super button broke again.
Thank you, Sean.
Yay!
I don't know, sometimes that button works, sometimes it just doesn't work. I don't know what causes it. I'm glad it worked this time.
I see someone in chat was asking about Dragonborn with wings. Laura, so yes, just to recap and repeat, in canon, Dragonborn don't have wings or a tail, or all the spikes and everything. It's a little harder to see the spikes, but the wings and the tail are the important part. Orchira has wings and a tail because she got mutated by a Cibriex in a D&D game, so she is not a normal Dragonborn. Dinar has a tail for homebrew story reasons from C-Team. I'm trying to think if there's any other Dragonborn. Because no, Arkan doesn't have a tail.
Doesn't have a tail. And well, Dragonbait has a tail. He's a Sorial and not
he's a Sorial.
Dragonborn. A lot of people get that mixed up.
Sorials. Well, I mean,
he's a dinosaur.
He is a dino. He's a dino that makes me hungry every time I use him because his smells are awesome. But yes, the Dragonborn in canon, there's some history. So if you look at older 3rd edition, 4th edition stuff, even some 2nd edition, if you look at not Dragonborn, but the versions of Dragonborn that were out there, and especially if you look at Dragonlance and look at some of the dragon-ish humanoids there's all sorts of weird stuff. Look at how you became a Dragonborn in 3.5, which was wild.
That's so cool. Like you've had a past life and you got resurrected personally by Bahamut to serve.
Wait. My friend, do you remember how that happens?
No.
You build yourself an egg, and you seal yourself inside of an egg.
What?
You didn't know this?
I don't remember that bit.
The 3.5 version of you couldn't be born as a Dragonborn. You were blessed by Bahamut. When it happened,
you made a Dragonborn,
you were made by building yourself an egg that you then sealed yourself inside to then hatch and be reborn as a Dragonborn. Dragonborn are weird.
They are so weird.
Dragonborn are
in a beautiful way.
Yes,
in a very very unique way. I like dragon rot kobolds for the same reason. Because like you could just in 3.5 you just I'm a kobold. I take 1 feat and now I'm literally a dragon. I've got wings and a tail and fire breath and everything, even though I'm still the size of a kobold.
And 4th edition, you could be a Dragonborn, and you could take some feats that would essentially make you more dragon-like. So you could gain wings, you could gain a tail, you could gain a fly speed, just by a bunch of feats. You can kind of go down that path, which was interesting considering in 4th edition that was the Points of Light edition with the Nintir Veil, and those were the Dragonborn who they like dragons. So. It's an interesting several different paths to go down. But yes, in 5th edition, current edition D&D, which is what Isle Champions is based on, Dragonborn do not have wings or a tail. They do not. Some more interesting things. You don't have to be a chromatic or metallic colored Dragonborn. In fact, in the book, most Dragonborn are rust colored.
Really?
Because Dragonborn don't care about what color you are. And so all Dragonborn just get together and intermingle. And so a lot of the strong... And so that's why in multiple editions of D&D, I think it is, you don't have to pick a color of your Dragonborn to coincide with what your breath weapon is. You can be a dragon... I could be a gold Dragonborn and have cold breath.
Nice.
Because all the Dragonborn, you're just one big lineage of Dragonborn, and so it doesn't matter. And so a lot of them are rust colored, are like this mixture of a bunch of different colors. So go be that
ties
Dragonborn.
Into something I wanted to ask you about because hey, I'm colorblind. I've talked about that sometimes. I can't tell what color Orchira is, and I would like you to tell me, please.
So she is a gold Dragonborn. So a brighter yellow, but so normally gold would also be shiny. It's one of the metallics.
That's what threw me off. I wasn't sure if she was gold or green. It was hard to tell.
Yeah, so
it seemed like a yellow Dragonborn or something.
Well, and yellow is actually a little bit accurate for her because she has, because of being mutated and because of all the scars and the burn marks that she has, I talk about how she's a matte. She is not a shiny gold anymore. She is almost more yellowish. But yeah, she
seems unique.
Yeah, muted. It's mostly because she's been literally burned dozens of
Makes
times.
sense. Yeah, the sparkle's gone.
Yeah, a little bit. She every once in a while waxes up her horns and tries to spruce herself up, but she's also she's not really too concerned about her appearance, and the scars to her are reminders that like they survived. Like she's the old war vet that's gonna tell you about the scars and like, this is the time that I stood in front of a red dragon so that my friends could escape on the spiral, and this is the time that we were fighting the dragons that were coming after all the gnomes and I ended up getting chomped on, and this is like, to her the scars are hey, look, we survived. You know, I'm not dead and you're not dead, and I've got this scar to prove it. So
That's
she doesn't mind that
like,
she's
like proud of them. Like it's part of her. It's not something to be ashamed about.
Nah, she doesn't.
Good.
She doesn't care. She's
Good.
You know, as long as she doesn't see them as a bad thing or a good thing. They're just part of life. But yeah, she's a matte gold, and so not shiny. She takes after her mother. Her father was a rust colored, and that's where she gets those horns from. But the color is from her mom.
Well, thank you very much, because I honestly couldn't tell. I really struggled with, like, yellow versus green, and, yeah, so... Okay, so gold, just matte instead of shiny.
Yep.
Nice.
I mean,
it is the top of the hour, so
Oh.
we gotta wrap up. Really lost track of time there.
I'll say one more thing. It is
Sure.
nice that I would love to know, we could talk about this offline, I don't think the game gets in the, like, I don't think there's any issues if you're colorblind playing the game, right? Or if there are, I would like to know about it.
There have been. I can definitely talk about that more in detail sometime, but
Okay.
I even had, like, a conversation via Discord messages with one of the developers a few years ago about rare versus epic equipment, that it was difficult for me to tell. Like, I couldn't tell. But yeah, I can definitely get more into details about that. I that's a very personal point for me, is talking about color vision deficiency as a disability and how it pertains to video games. Well,
I always want more people to be able to enjoy and play games, and so I would love to be able to help with that. And that's the serious moment that we will stop on with all of this. Thank you for having me on your show.
Thank you so much for being here with me, Lauren. I greatly, sincerely enjoyed this and appreciate your time and the energy and the vibe of the good vibes that you bring to the table here. So I guess we will wrap up now. Hey everybody, thank you for joining us for this episode of Mars Guiding Hand. Cheers everyone. Hope to see you all again next time. Make sure to tune into all of the excellent shows on our channel here. Champions of Lore, Improvised Champions, Champions Psychology, Bardic Inspiration, Evergreen Champions on hiatus, Crusaders Weekly, Idle Insights, Griddle Champions, Gar Wars Guide to Everything, Bushwhacker Weekly, Gar Wars Guide to whatever he's doing this weekend, probably this event, and Idle Champions Presents, which will hopefully return in the future. It was really, really good stuff. You can follow Idle Champions on social media. Please join our community, such as on Discord, Reddit, and elsewhere. You can find me on Twitter at Ryan Blake Hall. I'm also very often found on our Discord and on Reddit. I moderate both. And I'm also getting back into streaming on my own channel, like I mentioned before. Storyteller Mars is my Twitch channel, and starting tomorrow, I'm going to have like a weekly fictional interview show that I'm doing as a tea party with D&D characters. It's going to be pretty cool. Please enjoy if you choose to partake. Lauren, would you like to talk about your socials or anything?
Sure. I am the community manager for Idle Champions of the Forgotten Realms. You can find me wherever Idle Champions happen. You can also follow me personally on Twitter as Obaloran, and you want to see more of Orchira, you can find her on Sundays on the Rock Punch ATL Twitch channel at 4 p.m. Pacific on the show D4. That is a 4-hour show that starts at 4 p.m. Pacific and is awesome, and we're based out of Waterdeep, and now is a good time to join us because we are starting a new adventure. There's still some through-line story stuff, but we're literally leaving Waterdeep to go do something awesome for one of the characters in the game. Or you can join Orchira a year later in her life on Heroes of the Plains, which is on Tuesdays on the Demiplane RPG channel. And that is Tuesdays at 6 p.m. Pacific for 2 hours. That is the Heroes of the Plains that you would normally see in the game. So if you want to see Orchira try to keep Briv, Freely, Penelope, Alindra, and Averin alive, then you can go and enjoy that show, which is on Tuesdays.
That's amazing. I'm overwhelmed by just the nerdy glory that is the Lauren Urban.
Yes, nerdy glory for everybody.
Thank you, Codename Entertainment, for this opportunity to be part of the game that we both love so much and the community that we love. Thank you to our moderators in chat for all that you do. And wherever you are in the multiverse, please stay safe, be kind to yourself, be kind to others. One thing at a time, one problem at a time. And I will see you again very soon. Until next time, look sharp. Bye, everybody.